Hello, everybody. It is me, Jurassic Alps, here to say that today we are going to be talking about Tales from the Pizzaplex, Monty Within. Here are the timestamps for the video, and someone did find the hidden image in the last video, which was Tiger Rock, but they didn't. And the only thing is that I messed up and forgot to put the image in the video. Rachel Childers, congratulations on finding the image. Here is the image for this video. I will remember to put it in the video. If you find this image somewhere in the video, put the timestamp and in the comments, and I will put your comment in the next video. But anyways, let's get started. So the story starts off with Kane and his girlfriend going on a date, and they have to work on a senior project that is kind of them giving a speech in order to graduate. Kane's talking to his girlfriend about it, and he's talking about how there are two of us in our brain. There's the human part of us, and there's the AI part of us. And then the day comes where Kane has to give his speech, but everyone doesn't like his speech at all, including his. Then it's the next day, Kane and his little brother go to the Mega Pizzaplex, and they see that there's a new game called Fazcade Tag Team, which Cade finds that interesting and wants to go check it out. When Cade goes into the tag team game, it's a food fighting game, so you have to pick a character, and you'll be random paired up with another character from the FNAF universe. Kane goes in and he starts doing the food fight and is paired up with Monty. And as the game goes on, Cade noticed that Monty was copying him and sees that there's flickering ring light above his head. And then the session is over and Kane goes back the next day into the tag team game again to test out something with Monty. He goes into the game and is paired up with Monty again. So he basically decides and sees the glowing light again. So he breaks the game to see what the flickering ring light is. It just kind of looks like brain neurons. When he gets home, he seems more teasing. The next day, he goes on a date with girlfriend at the farmer's market and says something really mean to her, and she gets mad and walks away, and notice that Monty is now inside of his head and kind of just saying stuff. Kane goes to a baseball game and loses because of Monty. Monty tries to start a food fight in school. Kane tries to make something for his girlfriend, but Monty messes it up, and then eventually Monty has had enough with Kane being around, so Monty decides that he needs to remove Kane from him and takes Kane to the woodworking shop and uses a bandsaw to cut him in half. So something that I find really interesting, when Kane goes on a date with his girlfriend, he mentions the pizzeria, which shut down a year ago. FNAF 6 is like literally a year after Pizza Simulator, which is really interesting. I was expecting it to be like years upon years afterwards. So that will definitely help in the timeline. I also forgot to do the timeline in the last video. That's interesting that it was a year after this, because it doesn't say it was burned down, it just said it was shut down, which is very interesting. So they mentioned how the Fazcade tag team game looked like was a cave looking thing with 8 orange chairs and a yellow joystick, like a concave dome. So kind of reminded me of Lally's kind of area, because Lally's game had like a cave-like area, but it was a blacklight one, and this seemed like it had lights and kind of monitors that kind of surrounded the whole thing, like screens. So something that I thought was really cool was that they mentioned Glamrock Bonnie and in the food fighting game. So this is the second time we've mentioned Glamrock Bonnie ever in the books. First time was in Tiger Rock, and they don't mention Glamrock Bonnie again in Greedy Heart. Don't think so. So yeah, they mentioned Chica. He mentions that Kane chose Orville the Elephant, and I think it's really funny. They mentioned Orville the Elephant because when I first read this was after I made the tier list video. So every time when I first read this, I thought of Orville the Elephant. I just thought of that one clip. Orville. I like Orville. Orville's funny. Like, I feel like Orville reminds me of, like, an old man who's going insane. I feel like that's what he reminds me of. They mentioned Monty had a purple apron, which is kind of funny to think of. They mentioned Freddy, Roxy, and Foxy, which is really cool. The only other time I think they've ever really mentioned Foxy was in Claustrophobia with. So something that I thought was really cool, voice line. So I'm going to save my favorite one. They said party time, run, 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 you're in trouble now. One that I thought was really cool is that he says, I'm too handsome to lose. Now, in FNAF Security Breach Fury's Rage, he says that when he dies.
this happen? I'm so good looking.
So I thought that was kind of funny. I made a theory a while back saying we might see Fury's Rage as a minigame, but we didn't see it as a minigame, so which was a little disappointing, but we got to see it here, which was pretty cool. When Kane and his girlfriend go to the farmer's market, his girlfriend has a big pimple on her nose, and Monty says it's the size of Chica's cupcake. Damn, like, wow. I thought that was a pretty funny cupcake reference. So it mentions that Monty was kind of mimicking Kate, which I think this is maybe Monty, like maybe this is the mimic programming, learning more information, and it's kind of, I guess, evolving, if that makes sense. Something that I kind of find interesting was when he first went to the Mega Pizzaplex, it didn't seem like Monty had a real effect on him, but when he went to the Mega Pizzaplex for a second time, it seemed like that's when Monty kind of had more of a connection. So I think the first time when Kane goes to Mega Pizzaplex, it was when Monty, or the Monty programming, was scoping out to see who would be a good attachment, and the second time he went was kind of like, okay, this is a perfect specimen, we're taking him. So this could be meaning that Gregory could only have 70% of, air quotes, AI for someone else's personality. Maybe Crying Chow, but I think it's not Crying Chow right now. And I'm going to talk about this Gregory and Cassie theory video that'll hopefully be out sometime in October. But it seems like maybe Gregory didn't fully get the AI kind of memory switchover thing, kind of like how what happened in the story of Gregory didn't fully get the AI mind swap, if that makes sense. The food fight thing really reminded me of Chica's feeding frenzy. So maybe there's a connection I'm like not seeing. We have Ruin where we get Chica's beat, and like that seems interesting that we get Chica's beat. Maybe because like Chica doesn't have a connection really with Cassie. Well, maybe arcade games can also do memory transfer, not just Freddy and Friends. Maybe that. So then that could mean, because we have a Monty minigame, so there's probably someone connected with Monty. And we have a Chica minigame, then maybe someone is connected to Chica. I don't know. It just seems interesting. Now let's get to the main part of the theory. In Kane's speech that he talks about the science behind how we have two personalities, which is really interesting. Kane says something that AI part of us can learn / take in bad information, and kind of is the bad programming in us that can be given to us when we're younger. I think this is reason why some personalities in the B7 theory video, I talk about how trauma and people who have been given trauma are more likely to be easily moldable and more easily taken over by the, air quotes, Freddy and Friends programming, which is kind of what leave it that you have memories. So I think this kind of is the science behind it. So I think this kind of explains Vanessa, because Vanessa says she already bad AI when she was younger because she had to compartmentalize her dad.
Are you talking about your dad? Have those feelings come up again? I hate sounding like a broken record, but this is something you really need to resolve if you're ever going to be happy.
I have. I compartmentalized him. He's locked away.
Technically, Kane mentions that he still had both his personal, air quotes, AI, but it was a lot quieter, but Monty was a lot louder. So what if Vanessa, technically she still has both of her personalities. What if she tried to compartmentalize the AI Vanny in herself as well? So I think this is kind of our science, air quotes, our explanation on Vanny and Vanessa, because there are multiple times where in the leaked emails, Vanessa was writing something completely normal and fine, and then 2 seconds later, writing something completely dark and corrupt. And towards the end, it's very much so if Monty is tired of Kane and tries to get him out. I think the Vanny, air quotes, AI and Vanessa is a little bit smarter than Monty because Vanny doesn't try to kill her. It seems like she semi-tortures her. Does Vanny beat Vanessa in the mind control? Yes and no. Vanessa doesn't try and kill Gregory every 2 seconds. Vanessa did get Gregory, but she didn't try to kill him. Sometimes Vanessa is able to take control of the Vanny AI, but sometimes isn't able to, and that's kind of where Vanny comes out. But I feel like it's kind of an even split, more kind of leaning on the Vanny side. The only time Vanessa tries to kill Gregory is when she is in Vanny mode. Something that I am probably gonna kind of semi-mention is in Security Breach for the endings, we air quotes free Vanny and Vanessa. We split them up. Kind of. In Kane's speech, he talks about Taylor, which he was talking about her in his speech of AI. He says that when her left side of her brain shut down, she wasn't able to talk or function well, but she was a lot happier. In Security Breach, I feel like we see the same thing with Vanessa. When we free Vanessa from Vanny, we don't really see Vanessa talk. Yes, it is the comic book endings that really only happen, but like she doesn't really talk. And another thing in Ruined with the Brazil thing, we hear Gregory talking. We don't hear Vanessa. Now, yes, Cassie does know how Gregory sounds, so she would be able to kind of have a voice to correlate with that. But I think Cassie does know Vanessa, knows her pretty well. But that's a whole other theory that I will talk about. It seems, in my opinion, I feel like Vanessa, if we do see Vanessa again, she's not going to be really a character who talks, but just a character who is kind of just doesn't talk and kind of, maybe she does, like maybe Vanessa will talk, I mean probably, but like maybe not talk as much as she would as like a normal person. Here is the timeline. I don't know where I'm going to put these because I completely forgot about the timeline. Jesus Christ. But yeah, put the previous two stories where I think in the timeline. I don't know. I'll talk about it in the timeline when that comes out, which should be in November, I'm hoping. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. It means so much to me. You took the time out of your day to watch this video. Guys, seriously, so much. Thank you so much for watching. It's really, really cool. It's so cool to see my my theory videos getting like hundreds of views. My Glamrock Bonnie theory video got 1,000. I'm so happy because like I remember when I was starting to make these theory videos, they wouldn't even get like 30 views. I would get lucky if they got like over 30 views. But like now it's pretty much like 1,000, or not 1,000, like 100, which is like really cool. And I'm so happy that they're doing so well. I'm really proud of I'm not going to post a theory video if I don't feel confident. That's why I'm kind of very reserved on posting theory videos. I feel like I'm like, all I ever do is theory videos. But like, I only post a theory video if I'm like, I am pretty confident. Some of my theory videos, I'm like a little iffy. For the longest time, Help Wanted, the book theory video, I don't know if I feel good about it. But now with this new story, I'm feeling pretty confident of that theory video. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. It means so much to me too. Next video will be the epilogues because I'm skipping Bleeding Heart. I'll make a mini, I guess, video within the Cassie and Gregory theory video because that's a big connection there. But I'll be talking about that soon because I want to try and get the final book, Tales from the Pizza. Yeah, you guys so much for watching. And remember, 2 cans and blow dryers.